all the members of the Machel family, members of the various other families that lost their lives in this place, survivors of the tragedy that befell the people of Mozambique and, of course, Southern Africa, mayors and councillors, our traditional leaders, our religious leaders in our midst, ambassadors and high commissioners, the leadership of Frelimo and membership of Frelimo who are here with us today, and the leadership of the African National Congress and the membership of the African Congress who are also here, comrades and friends. Avshe. Inkarhi wa ti-election la a South Africa. Loko ni karhi ni famba South Africa leyi hinkwayo, ni karhi ni dyondza vanhu va la South Africa xichangani. Loko ni va rungula hi xichangani, ni va dyondza ni ku loko ni ku avuxeni va fanele ku ri va hlamula va ku ahe. So that is why namuntlha ni ri avuxeni. Hi ku ku na vanhu va humaka le Mozambique lava vulavulaka xichangani. Ni tsake ngopfu loko ni vona mchongolo wa le Mozambique la u fana na mchongolo wa hina la South Africa. So, exactly 35 years ago today, a terrible tragedy befell the South African region when President Samora Machel and his compatriots were killed in a very mysterious plane crash right here in Mbuzini. For 35 years now, people from all walks of life have come to Mbuzini to pay tribute to President Samora Machel and to honor his memory and revolutionary spirit. And so we are here at this memorial site today to remember him and to pay tribute to him, as well as those who perished in this place, but also to pay tribute to those who survived and who are here with us today. On its own, this site is a reminder of the dreadful past from which we have come and the many sacrifices that many of our people made to achieve a better world in which all can enjoy peace, freedom, dignity, as well as equality. The commemoration of the death of President Machel and his comrades play a significant role in keeping alive the memory of those who selflessly laid down their lives for the liberation of the people of Southern Africa. This place, Mbuzini, is a sacred site. It is a site where a great sacrifice was paid. As South Africans, we will never forget the contribution made by President Machel, and the people of Mozambique in ensuring that freedom reigns in our country. As South Africans, we are eternally grateful for the support that we received from the people of Mozambique so that we can be free today. Our freedom also belongs to all of you from Mozambique. And thank you for coming in such large numbers. In commemorating Buzini, the tragedy that happened here, South Africa and Mozambique continue to celebrate the ties of solidarity and struggle that bind us together. I should reveal that our coming together today in this fashion, at this moment, was conceived in a discussion that President Filipe Nyusi and myself had just a few weeks ago, when we both remembered that this will be the 35th anniversary of the tragic passing away of President Machel and his comrades. We said it would be good if both of us can get together here at this site so that it's not only commemorated in Mozambique and South Africa separately by ourselves, but that we should both be here together with the families. So I'd like to thank President Nyusi, who put away whatever he may well have been doing, and myself, of course. I stopped the campaigning so that I can come here, so that we can all get together here. Now, that testifies to the solidarity, the closeness, the brotherhood, and the sisterhood that exists between our two nations. Through this act, we reaffirm our deep commitment to work together to ensure peace and freedom in Southern Africa. The monument we built on this site not only commemorates the tragedy of that day, it reminds us that the fates of our two countries are intricately linked. Yes, Mama Grasha, we have heard you, I have heard you very clearly. You would like this site where this tragedy happened to be transformed into more than a memorial site. It should be a site where there is knowledge, where there's history, where people will come, particularly young people, so that they can learn about the great sacrifices that our leaders made to make Southern Africa free. You would like a conference center? I've heard you. You would like a beautiful site? I've heard you. I would like this memorial to be greatly improved from what it is today. Yes, we will. Yes, we will seek to do so in our lifetime. It is important that we should have great memorials so that we can pass on, as our forebears have passed on the struggle of freedom, so that we can pass on great memorials so that the young people who will follow us should know what their histories is all about. Now, the beautiful thing about this site is that it joins the two countries together It joins us at the hip, and this is important so that we never forget. Whilst I'm on that, we also want to applaud Mozambique for keeping the memory of the tragedy that happened in Mozambique during the struggle against apartheid, when the apartheid regime attacked ANC members, and today you have installed a great memorial in Mozambique to remember those who died there. But all this also reminds us that the border that lies just a few hundred meters from where we stand was placed there by foreign powers that had no interest in our history, that had no interest in our heritage or our aspirations. President Nyusi told me that it just took him exactly 18 minutes from Mozambique, from Maputo, to come over here. And he said, well, I'm just as good as being in Mozambique. And it is true. This is just as good as being in Mozambique because our two countries are joined. It reminds us that we are born of the same ancestors, that we have shared the same blood, that we have cried the same tears, and that we have shared the same joys. And it also reminds us that we share the anguish of this tragedy as South Africans. We share the frustration that the cause of the crash has never been established. And should our suspicions be correct, that those responsible have never been identified. And it is true. This tragedy is still a mystery. We have our suspicions, and it is for that reason that we say President Samora Machel and his other comrades who were with him in the plane were assassinated. It offends our sense of justice and our desire to know the truth. Yes, as people of Mozambique and South Africa, we want still to know the truth. Yet while there is much that we do not know about the circumstances of this tragedy, we are certain of its meaning and the responsibility that it places on our shoulders. We know that the struggle to which Samora Machel dedicated his life is not complete. The people of Southern Africa, and indeed the people of our continent, have yet to know the dignity, the prosperity, and the security that they seek and deserve. They have yet to recover from the ravages of colonialism and the inequities of the apartheid system. They still face many challenges. The challenges of poverty, challenges of unemployment, inequality, and violent conflict. We must decisively deal with these challenges and work together towards lasting peace in our region and on our continent. In honor of Samora Machel, we must foster our region's integration much more and use the recently established mechanisms and opportunities to increase economic growth on our continent and also minimize our dependence on the outside world for various products and goods and services. We are a continent that has an abundance of mineral resources as well as agricultural products. but we do not use them for the benefit of our people. Many of the finished goods that our continent, Africa, imports from elsewhere are made from materials that originate from our own continent and from our own region. By exporting our raw materials, we are also exporting jobs. We're also exporting opportunities. We're also exporting value. The jobs and the opportunities and the value must reside here on our continent and not be exported. We do need to reverse this trend. We do need to beneficiate our own raw materials to ensure that the continent of Africa prospers, so that our people have jobs and that our children are healthy and educated and reach out to prosperity themselves. This continent, Africa, has some of the biggest rivers in the world, like the Zambezi and the Congo and the Great Nile. These are big enough to produce enough electricity for the whole continent. We have enough sun, we have enough wind and minerals to become a global leader in the new green economy. We are a continent of young people, a continent of young people who are possessed of the energy, initiative, and skills to establish Africa as a new frontier of production and innovation. We need to achieve our potential by strengthening and having functional democracies, accountable institutions, capable leaders. We need to have peace and stability on our continent. We need societies that strive for the empowerment of women and the achievement of gender equality in every area of life. The women of our continent are ready, willing, and prepared to come into their own and contribute meaningfully to the growth of this continent, and we must enable them to do so. The young people of our continent are raring to contribute effectively to the progress and prosperity of our continent. We need leaders who follow in the footsteps of Samora Machel, leaders who are selfless, who are committed, and who are dedicated to serve, and who are prepared also to sacrifice, like Samora Machel did. We need leaders who put the needs and the aspirations of the people of our continent above all else. We're having today's commemoration in the midst of the worst global health crisis in more than a century. As African countries, we are working together to overcome this disease called COVID-19 and to also ensure an inclusive and sustained social and economic recovery. We need to encourage our fellow countrymen and women in all our various countries in the SADC region as well as on the continent to be vaccinated against COVID-19 and to continue observing critical prevention measures that have been set in place to ensure that the disease does not spread. We must intensify the struggle for equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines, ensuring that as many people as possible are vaccinated as rapidly as possible. No country, no community, and no person must be left behind. President Machel and his compatriots laid down their lives to ensure that our countries attain freedom from colonialism, apartheid, underdevelopment, and oppression. We should continue with the struggle to ensure that the peoples of Southern Africa realize their dream for freedom. Freedom from hunger, inequality, injustice, and conflict. And when it comes to conflict, it is for this reason that the peoples of Southern Africa, acting through their governments, have all decided collectively to act in solidarity to help the people of Mozambique to push out and to fight the insurgents who are spreading conflict, insecurity, and violence in the northern part of Mozambique. And I have one message for those insurgents. We will come after you. We will make sure that Mozambique becomes a country where you will not spread violence. Southern Africa will act together. This is what Samora Machel will have committed himself to, and we are following in his footsteps. I'd like to thank you today for being part of this commemoration. It is 35 years of having lost President Machel and his compatriots, but it is 35 years of memory, and in doing this today, we are effectively saying we will never forget President Samora Machel. Samora Machel continues to live in us. Hinge moribali. Aluta continua. Thank you.
President Ramaphosa there giving his respects to the late Samora Machel, who died some 35 years ago in what the president describes as an assassination. We're going to go for a quick